mean, he literally is a net zero zealot. And you think, well, what are you hoping to accomplish? By 2050, he wants us to be in a net zero world.
But just on Mark Carney's record, he's gone on television pushing for taxes on flying due to climate change. Here he is.
But shouldn't we be flying less now?
We should be taking into account the impact of our flying on the planet now. And that's
pushing up the tax on flying.
You push up the tax on flying, you push up the cost on transport, and that's in part what putting a price on carbon is.
So do Canadians know what they've signed up for?
Mm-hmm. I do not think that Canadians understand what we've signed up for. And earlier you played the clip of him at COP24, and he basically says, I mean, Michael Bloomberg is part of, it's on Bloomberg TV, right? But basically COP24 is the, COP26 rather, UN climate change conference in Glasgow, where he was saying there will be punishments to financial institutions if the emissions of their clients are not up to snuff in a way. They want to do everything to keep oil in the ground, coal not burning. They're not for pipelines. They're not for oil and gas. They're for all electric. And that is never spoken about in the mainstream media. I mean, he literally is a net zero zealot. And you think, well, what are you hoping to accomplish? By 2050, he wants us to be in a net zero world. Does that mean you don't drive a car? You don't fly in a plane? You don't heat your home? You don't have a hot shower? I mean, all these basic things, these are never spoken about in the media, but these are his beliefs. And these beliefs, I believe, are for him to gain such massive control, because he has control over world banks, leaders. I mean, you put these stipulations on these financial institutions because you punish them for their emissions, and you are in power. I mean, he's a very powerful person. And do we really think that he gave everything up? He left, you know, Brookfield Asset Management, which is like a BlackRock, to give everything up to come and save Canada? If Canadians can't see that he's an installation, then the wool is just completely being pulled over their eyes. And I think that that's exactly what's happened. The wool was pulled over their eyes. He was, you know, touted as this financial genius, this, you know, former banker, this, you know, he was a former banker, the governor of England, the bank, you know, governor of the Bank of Canada. But he is really a complete climate activist, but only not for good gain. It's not like he really believes in this. He has no problem buying a pipeline in the UAE or in South America, but he will shut down Canadian pipelines. He had totally approved of like killing the Northern Gateway pipeline, but yet he'll buy a pipeline somewhere else. He's all for this Bill 69, which is a known, and he will not repeal that, which means that we cannot cultivate our oil and gas in Canada. He's a man that claims to want to, oh, he'll fix all the problems with Trump. But really, Canadian jobs, Canadian oil, we have suffered under the Liberals. And I don't think that Canadians understand just what they've elected. He touts himself as a climate activist, you know, that net zero is going to protect the world. Why will it protect the world? We're in Canada. Half our country is all wilderness. I live in a rainforest. The world has gotten greener since. You know, the carbon is good for the planet, but he has guilted a nation, guilted the world into thinking that climate is bad, carbon is bad, but you need carbon.